Thank you for staying with us. The importance of agriculture as an alternative avenue to drive economic growth, reduce poverty, and achieve the sustainable development goals cannot be overemphasized. It significantly contributes to food security and job creation and generates revenue for the government. The current administration in Ogun State, led by Prince Dapo Abiodun, adopted this approach at inception. Now, the administration is committed to resuscitating the once thriving agricultural sector of the Old Western region for the survival, growth, and development of the state. The agricultural agenda of the administration is ambitious, with over 80,000 individuals set to benefit from the government's efforts to provide land, markets, credit facilities, and training. The administration's roadmap has had a direct impact on food security, job creation, and agricultural industrialization, with a focus on including youth and smallholder farmers. Senior Special Assistant on Public Communications to the Ogun State Governor, Dario Dufowa, joins us in the studio to speak more on the agricultural agenda of Prince Dapo Abiodun. Thank you for joining us. Good morning.
Good morning. I'm happy to be here.
Great. When we look at around with regards to what the government is doing with regards to agriculture, we've seen some steps taken by the government. At some point, we saw a report where about 40,000 persons were said to have been empowered. But it seems the state is very ambitious and is looking at 80,000 persons or individuals to look at improving on this matter of agriculture, food security, basically. Talk to us about it. Give us better insight.
Thank you very much. There is no better time for any community, not to talk of a state, to begin to look at the issue of agriculture than now. A time when our economy appears to need all our helps, to put it that way. At a time when all sectors must do its bit in ensuring that we have food security, especially. Of recent, we all saw the Balu about food prices and all that. And that's why many governments, Ogun State inclusive, have been trying to see how best they can help the people weather this period. The idea of food palliatives and the likes, food subsidies and all that have become things we find in our dictionaries these days. However, there is that thought about when we finish what government is giving us to support us now, as far as food is concerned, what are we going to be eating?
Sustainable.
I mean, how can we sustain food security beyond giving people handouts and palliatives? And that's what our governor, my governor, Prince Dapo Abiodun, is thinking about. Right from the very time he came in as governor, he felt that we need to take agriculture more seriously. And a lot of initiatives, like the one you spoke about, where about 40,000 farmers across the state got inputs, grants, loans, and other forms of supports to ensure that they do farming better. It is only when we get people to do farming better that we can be sure that the output of farming, the output of agriculture, will be better than it used to be. And it is when it is better than what it used to be that we can begin to talk about securing food. Ensuring that we have enough to eat. Avoiding famine and avoiding an economy that will be battered due to food prices. So the idea, beyond just giving support, even organizing agriculture in a manner that it becomes easy to do, has been the focus of this administration. That's the idea behind the Ogun State Farmers Information Management System, the OGSFM. And what does this do? It is one of the key things this administration has put in place. It is a platform where you have thousands of farmers sharing ideas, sharing locations, sharing agricultural support, sharing information about agriculture. And this helps in many ways. If you are planting what I'm planting and we are on that platform together and my yield is doing well and you are having issues, You can easily learn from me how I was able to improve my own yields.
A community.
It's a community of farmers. If you have issues with tractorization, and I am finding it easy, you can easily learn from. So that alone has turned around farming in Ogun State.
And that's where I actually want to go, talking about tractors, because it's not enough for people to get into the farmlands or having a farm, working on some produces, and then you're not able to, get enough, farm produce and doing these things effectively. Niger State government actually purchased additional 2,000 tractors, which the president was there to inaugurate and move that. What exactly is Ogun State doing in terms of tractorization? How much tractors do we have in Ogun State, and how are they using this to the benefit of
Thank you very
farmers?
much. It's one area where every state, community, and organization serious with agriculture must pay attention. But it is not just about how many tractors you have. It's about how you put them to use. We have tractors in Ogun State. Now the government is also talking about getting more. And specifications is one issue. We must get what the people need. There are various types. And the different types, it will depend on, the one you need depends on what you are planting, where you are planting. And that's why we have the issue of clusters in Ogun State now. What do I mean by clusters? A situation where government is saying, okay, let's form farm clusters. You're planting rice, is planting rice. Why can't we have all of us in one location, one axis? If you are into palm oil, I'm into palm oil, and we can all be in one. It makes tractorization and other heavy equipment easy. How? If you finish using it, and it doesn't have to leave Agowe to go to Kuka in Ifo, but rather leave Agowe, go to Okunwa, from there to Ayekpe, it becomes easy because we are a cluster, we are in that axis together.
So if I don't live close to where you want the clusterization to happen, are you saying that someone who has been farming, for instance, local rice somewhere, should now have to move because there is a group of people who farm it in certain lands?
In the long run, it makes more sense. It makes your production cost far more easier rather than staying. You can't be an island on your own and achieve as much as we will want you to. Where that is necessary. And then, for example, the rice cluster Ogun State is having in Egua, in Yewa axis of the state. It's not just, okay, let's have people there. It's a product of researches, tests, and affirmations. Okay, this area, these yields will do well here.
Based on the soil component.
Based on all that, other factors. Come, you are a tested rice farmer. But perhaps where you are, apart from you not having access to what you need as quickly as possible, the land may not even be as good as where we are asking you to come. So come, let's form you people into a cluster. You do better here. You have access to what you need better here, and issues like that. So if it makes you, if it means you living where you are, to do it better where we are asking you to come, in the long run, it makes more sense. And government is making this easy by providing land, farming lands, for those who are interested in this. And more people are keen into this project and giving us the assurance that we have a future where we may no longer worry about food security.
Interesting. I want to quickly go back to the 40,000 persons, because that project happened last year. How far we have come, what the results we have gotten as a result of that, knowing that we are looking at food security, what are the results that has been achieved, and then you are looking at 80,000 persons this time around. Who are those that are qualified? I know the government is calling on youths to embrace agriculture. How are they, trying to key into this as well?
Thank you very much. The result of the initiatives earlier done have been fantastic.
Right.
But you also know that agriculture is not an immediate thing. You plant, you water, and you wait for yields. So, but from what we have seen, the future is much brighter before than what it was before now, because we now have a situation of real farmers being involved in agriculture. Gone are the days when projects and initiatives are defeated because some intermediaries, like the governor would say, give it to those who will give you results. Bring in people who really need it, not contractor farmers who takes the land, he yields the money, and then they look for somebody and they vote with the larger percentage. We've been able to eradicate that to a large extent, giving us an idea that, okay, of what we have done, a huge percentage will turn out results. And more has been done after that.
Right.
Recently, about 600 million naira was also spent by the government on equipping farmers and supporting agriculture. Poultry, animal husbandry, real planting, and other things. The idea is, if we talk about food security and we want people to adequately participate, they must receive help from government.
Are the youths keying in?
A lot of youths are keying in. That I can tell you. Because agriculture is gradually, in our state, turning to what it is in other climes. You are assured of support. You are assured of the inputs that helps you do what you know how to do even better. Government is not leaving the issue of agriculture to just the private sector. A lot of big-time players are also coming to ask the government, how can we key into what is Ogun State a blessed state?
That's right.
And that is why we must take advantage. One of the things the state is doing is reviving farm settlements. Some that are moribund, those that are not doing quite well. Across the state, from Ajegunle to Agowe, to Ikene, to Kuka, to Shawonjo, farm settlements are coming back to life. Farm settlers associations are being formed in manners that gives assurance that we will soon defeat the problem of food.
And that's where my sorry to butt in. That's where my issue comes in rather, because if we have people, farm settlements, we have all other people who are also farming on border areas, because Ogun State is a gateway state, talk about Oyo, talk about Osun, etc. How is the government... Talk about Lagos, yeah. So how is the government, ensuring that there is no issue of farmer header crisis, that we are reporting,
That also is a question, and following up on that, there is a story on the paper this morning, tension in Ugu community over proposed cattle ranch site. How are the people within these communities also giving support to the government? Yes.
The issue of security in agriculture is key. Aside the clashes, people spend so much money to plant, to prepare for yields and all that, and then cows or whatever comes in and destroys it. A lot of money and time it will be lost. So Ogun State government is not joking with the issue of security. And how are we going about it? Usual and mutual understanding between the two groups, herders and farmers, is something we've been able to sustain. We have so many organs, like Department of Ethnic Relations, farm rangers, and all that, ensuring that we mitigate the likelihood of these clashes by ensuring that, look, what they are doing here is farming. Please don't come this way with your cow. And we've been able to achieve results with that. A lot of it. So much so that people feel that we must be practicing some special arrangement. It is
so
not.
How come there's tension in this community?
So you and I are journalists. Tension in this community. By the time you read the body of that story, you'll discover that there is no tension. We are two groups are planning to sit down and discuss what we are talking about to avert the possibility of a clash. I don't see that as tension. I see that as understanding. So, but sensationalism in the media.
That's why I asked, how is the government engaging this community? That is what I've just told you. They are buying into it.
You hardly find clashes because there is constant discussion. We have so many organs and units ensuring that. Even as in our forest reserves, where you have herders and all that, you hardly hear about clashes because government is involved. Government is, keen on ensuring that we avoid. We had two people have diverse interests, and there is possibility of them coming across one another. There will be the possibility of a clash. So it is now how you are able to avoid that tells you the end result. So when you hear headlines like this, take your time to read the main body of the story.
So it is also
Somebody is trying to sell newspaper.
It is also not.
No, it's a question that needs to be answered.
I agree with you.
Well, the newspaper is actually from Ogun State, so I'm sure.
I've just told you, either it's from Ogun or
what exactly.
Somebody is
what's
trying to
going on
sell.
there.
Somebody is trying to sell.
So, but then, looking at the global value chain, it is not enough for farmers to farm and then having sufficient food security, within their locality and, of course, the state and even Nigeria. Yeah. How is Ogun State looking at earning more forex in having enough and keying into the global value chain by exporting and earning, enough revenue for the state?
You see, aside the issue of trying to ensure food security, you must have heard about our very, very laudable cargo airport project. It is our own first idea of earning foreign exchange through agriculture. That's one. The governor was not looking at the agricultural, was not looking at available agricultural produces at the time he dreamt of that airport. He was looking at what we will have if we are able to expand, enlarge our coast as far as agriculture is concerned. And now that we are doing that, you can be rest assured that beyond, we are taking farmers away from subsistence farming now to economic farming. Eventually, we are going in that direction. We already have produces identified. This will earn our state good forex.
Like which one?
Ogun is one place where cocoa is sustainable. We can do a lot of farming in cocoa.
And cocoa seems to be facing some international, issues now. Looks like people are trying to look away from cocoa.
Yeah, well, looking away is not that they have looked away. While they are looking, whatever we can still get from that. But there are more.
Right.
A lot of it. So if you look at it, we have a state where a lot of agricultural yields do well. All we need to do is encourage our people. Farm this in large quantity.
That's why we're asking which of them, aside cocoa, what else?
There's palm oil.
Okay.
You need to visit palm oil plantations across the state. There's palm oil, and you find the situation whereby if we do it well, the way the government is encouraging us.
Malaysia is thriving on that.
Is it?
Malaysia.
They don't have a monopoly of palm oil yield.
No, I'm saying that's one country
that is thriving, so we can copy them too.
Right.
Beautiful.
Absolutely. So, now, what are we looking at? Because there's the matter of climate change. As much as we know that we are farming and we're trying to ensure food security, we saw what happened in 2012, where a lot of farms were, drowned as a result of climate change, flooding and all. And we even saw 2 years ago what happened as well. Even last year we recorded. How is the government looking at protecting this yields, farmlands, from all of these activities of climate change, which humans cannot necessarily control as it is? And then what are the plans for storage? Because that's another aspect that Nigerians have been speaking about when we talk about farming and food security.
Thank you very much. Let's talk about the climate change. You'll recall that last year, Ogun State too had its fair share. Its share of flooding. That is to tell you. From that point, the government took decisive actions, calling the attention of the federal government immediately, because you discover that some of these things are things the state alone cannot handle. Federal government responded with ministers of both water resources and environment coming to visit and making an input. Work did not stop on finding solution to that flooding in that particular area and other areas in Ogun State. So a study of what could be the cause, remote and immediate, has been done.
Yeah, because we know they keep opening a particular dam.
So if it's opened, how do we ensure that it does not cause this kind of damage? That is being looked into. So I assure you that beyond protecting agricultural farmlands and other things, protecting the state entirely and its people from such hazards that can be caused by climate change, it's a huge concern for the government. And work is going on very, very seriously on it, in collaboration with other agencies, federal, international.
Could you give us an insight into what work is being done, perhaps?
I just told you that the issue of flooding is being collectively looked into.
Absolutely.
In conjunction with the federal government, agencies, other agencies, ministries, and the like. So it is not something that we can put down in black and white. It's technical. It's something that experts are looking into and taking decisions with the intention of ensuring that the very best action is taken in the interest of everybody concerned.
How about storage? I remember.
Yeah, it's one area where the State Ministry of Agriculture today has done a lot. The Honorable Commissioner for Agriculture, Bolowo Tomo, is an expert, especially in the area of storage. And the ministry is already looking into, by looking at expected results of all these initiatives and activities, how much storage do we need? We already have some silos and other things. Improvements are being introduced on a daily basis to ensure that when we have all these yields, we are encouraging people to go into and do. They don't end up being wasted. If they cannot be used immediately, if they cannot be consumed immediately, we should be able to store them. Some of these storages will also help dry season farming. Because from those stored, you can get some that turns out to become inputs later, and it helps you to get better yields, even during the dry season. So it's an area the state has improved drastically. More storage facilities are being created across the state and closer to the farmers.
Great.
Closer to the farmers than it used to be.
And in talking about collaboration with the federal governments, the wet season is actually approaching, and then that's time for farmers to go to the farm. And the Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security plans to distribute 2.15 million bags of assorted fertilizers donated by the CBN to Nigerian farmers. So how is the Ogun State government, collaborating or lobbying the federal government in order to get a sizable share of these fertilizers?
Yeah, it is for Nigerian farmers, not just for a particular section of the country. So I can assure you, with the kind of relationship our Ministry of Agriculture have with the federal ministry and other federal government agencies, we will get our fair share.
Right.
We'll definitely get our fair. And Ogun farmers can be rest assured that when it comes, it will get to them and not to any intermediary.
Okay, I want you to quickly touch on the collaboration with Germany with regards to farming, because I saw that story as well, that is a conversation ongoing.
Yeah, it's an ongoing conversation. It is just one of those efforts to see opportunities and utilize them. The discussions are ongoing with the German representatives. It's as a result of our state and the German reps coming together, looking at what we can do together. And it is being examined, it is being upgraded, discussed, and at the end of the day, I think we'll take the very best opportunity, the very best chance from it at the end of the day. And Ogun people will be the beneficiaries, the greatest beneficiary of this.
So for those who would definitely be willing to get into farming, somebody like me, I love farming and all of that.
Good.
And you don't have lands, but then you're also not from Ogun State, or probably you are from Ogun State. Are there opportunities for people like that who will definitely get access to farmlands to be able to farm?
Yes, yes, because we are the farm produces, the food that will come from the farms when you farm, do not add the name of your state on it.
So there has to be an agreement.
You don't have the name of your state on it, so, and it will be for the benefit of our state, wherever it is you come from. And that's why we are saying people should take advantage of these initiatives.
How can they take
For example, we have the Ajegunle Farm Settlement on Bisi Onabanjo Road in Abeokuta. People like that should go there. It's like the clearinghouse, the office for this farm settlement, Farm Settler Association initiative. When you get there, they'll ask you questions. What do you plant? Or what do you intend to go into? What are your antecedents? How much of what you are telling us can we trust and believe? You don't have land, you have land, you need input. By the time you are done with discussing with them, I can assure you that if you have convinced the people there that this is a real-time farmer,
Okay.
then you stand a good chance to plant whatever it is you want to plant, wherever it is you are from in Nigeria, so that Ogun people can have the opportunity of your expertise.
Anyway, we'll leave the conversation here. Senior Special Assistant on Public Communications to Ogun State Governor Dario Dufo-Okon. Thank you for your time on the program.
It's a pleasure.
Well, this is where we draw the curtains for the program today. Let's tell you that the views and reactions of all our resource persons are theirs and have no connection